My boyfriend gave me a book to read, and it's the most sexist, misogynistic book I've ever seen, and now I'm wondering how a proud feminist could ever think I'd enjoy this. I, 25 female, met my boyfriend, 37 male, in our master's program. We became friends over this past year, and started dating and becoming serious shortly before I left the state for a summer internship. He gifted me a book to read, saying it was one he liked. It's A Spell for Chameleon by Piers Anthony, a fantasy novel written several decades ago. I knew nothing about it prior, and began laughing at it 2 pages in because of how ridiculous the writing was, especially about women. We video chatted after I got through the first chapter, and I tried respectfully explaining my doubts about the book. He made a deal with me, knowing I'm a big Harry Potter fan. He promised to give the Harry Potter series a chance, starting with Philosopher's Stone, if I gave his book a chance and kept reading. This rocked my world, and I had a sudden burst of motivation. I'm on chapter 3, and I cannot stand this book. It is one of the most sexist and misogynistic texts I have ever had to read, and it honestly makes me feel like crap. Not to mention it's just poorly written all around, painfully spoon-feeding obvious symbolism, and excessively throwing in fantasy creatures and concepts that do nothing for the plot. The protagonist is a complete dillhole that I could not care less about, and as a reader, I don't want to follow him or anything in the fantasy world of Xanth. But of course, flat out telling my boyfriend those thoughts about a book he enjoys would be hurtful, and he has every right to have different preferences. I am shocked that he would recommend such a book to me though. He is a respectful and educated man, treating me very well, and identifying as a proud feminist. This recommendation was out of left field. Does he not remember how hurtful the author's writing on women is? Did he read it at a young age, and has since grown? I can't expect him to hold his end of the bargain and read Harry Potter, which is fine, especially if it means not having to put myself through Piers Anthony's poor excuse for writing ever again. I like my boyfriend a lot. How do I respectfully tell him why I cannot invest in this book anymore? It's important to me that he realizes the negative messages being suggested, but I want to do this without insulting his taste or making him feel at fault. Edit to add why the book is horrible. Example 1. I like beautiful girls, he said. And I like smart girls. But I don't trust the combination. I'd settle for an ordinary girl, except she'd get dull after a while. Sometimes I want to talk with someone intelligent, and sometimes I want to, he broke off. Her mind was like that of a child, it wasn't really right to impose such concepts on her. Example 2, that's the point, he said. I like variety. I would have trouble living with a stupid girl all the time, but you aren't stupid all the time. Ugliness is no good for all the time, but you aren't ugly all the time either. You are variety. And that is what I crave for the long-term relationship, and what no other girl can provide. Example 3, all women are the same inside. They differ only in appearance and talent. They all use men. Example 4, that whole rope trial in chapter 3. Example 5, other girls manage to enhance their appearance by cosmetics or padding or specialized spells, but besides Sabrina all other females look somewhat artificial. She was no enemy. This was the PG. 2 example I mentioned. Example 6, there was much more of her he longed to see, and to touch, but that could come only after marriage. She was that sort of girl, and it was part of her appeal. The girls who had it didn't need to put it on casual display. PG. 3. Update 3 days later. I went through every comment, and took them all into consideration. Thank you all for your thoughts. We video chatted the other night, and the topic came up. I started by saying I liked him a lot and really do appreciate how much he's willing to share with me. He caught on to where I was going with this, and started laughing. Then I started laughing, and I realized how silly small of a thing this all was. I guess I didn't want to risk hurting his feelings. When the reason why I didn't like the book came up, I explained, and he totally understood. It's been at least a decade since he's read the book, and he can see where I would feel uncomfortable. He will still consider reading the first Harry Potter book, since I gave his book a chance. And being a single dad, his kids also like the series, so it would be a chance for him to connect more with them. I ended by saying that I hope this doesn't discourage him from sharing more things he likes. He said, if anything, it encourages me to find more that you'll appreciate. Cue heart flutters. New update 8 years later, hi. It's hilarious this post is being shared because it's from such a different time in my life. Your instincts are right. This relationship only lasted a monthish after this post. I took an opportunity to live and study abroad for a few months, and it was clear that he didn't want anything that deep, dodged any conversation that required vulnerability, didn't like that I wasn't always 100% perky, etc. I also had a rough breakup before this, and wasn't making the best judgment calls when it came to dating. I could have caught a few more things about him that give similar concerns now as this book recommendation then. So I called it off. Oh my god, then he suddenly wanted to make it work, and kept it up for over a year after the breakup. We weren't even together that long. He would text me as if we never ended, and I would shut it down. He eventually stopped, but I still get occasional notifications on LinkedIn that he viewed my profile. I'm now happily married to someone my age. Not knocking appropriate relationships with age gap, I'm good friends with a couple who are 12 years apart, but I dodged a bullet, folks. Thanks for giving me a good laugh with this flashback.